Warlock, deceased. Real name, Adam Warlock. Occupation, Avenger, Savior of Worlds. Identity, his existence was unknown to the general public of Earth. Legal status, none. Other aliases, him. Place of birth, the Beehive, Shard Island, Atlantic Ocean. Place of death, Sanctuary 2, Thanos' space station in solar orbit. Known relatives, not applicable. Group affiliation, head of Universal Church of Truth in an alternate future. First appearance, Fantastic Four number 66. Final appearance, Marvel 2-in-1 Annual number 2. History. The being one day named Adam Warlock was the genetic creation of 4 scientists who called themselves the Enclave. Adam Warlock was the prototype for a perfect human life form grown from artificially assembled genetic material, which the Enclave intended to mass produce to form an invincible army to conquer the world. Unfortunately, the scientists miscalculated the strength of their creation, and after leaving his womb-like cocoon, the golden-skinned being known then as him decimated the Enclave's island base, codenamed the Beehive, accidentally killing one of the 4 scientists. He then harnessed his cosmic power to fly and left Earth to find his destiny in space. However, venturing into a region where meteors were being contained and examined by a member of the race of Watchers, see Watchers, him spun a protective cocoon around himself like the one in which he was originally born. The Watcher recognized his inadvertent catch as a living being and returned it to Earth. There, the cocoon eventually opened and him re-emerged. Looking upon the Asgardian goddess Sif, him naively decided to take her as his mate. This led him into battle with Sif's companion Thor, a battle which aroused the berserker rage in Thor. To escape Thor's wrath, him rewove his protective cocoon and thrust himself back into space. Some months later, him's cocoon drifted near the satellite headquarters of the High Evolutionary, an Earthman who had discovered how to control evolution.
See, High Evolutionary.
The High Evolutionary was in the midst of an experiment to create a replica of Earth upon which evil would not be allowed to exist. After fashioning his artificial world and populating it with facsimile human beings, the High Evolutionary took a rest, during which time his renegade creation, the Man-Beast, introduced the concept of evil to the nascent world's populace. When the High Evolutionary saw how his experiment was contaminated, he decided to destroy it. However, upon his re-emergence from the cocoon, him interceded and offered to go to the planet and cleanse it of its evil, if the High Evolutionary would spare it. The High Evolutionary consented and placed on his brow a soul gem. For the next few years, him, now called Adam Warlock, fought to save the planet from the evil influence of the Man-Beast. In the course of his mission, Warlock was crucified, but after retreating and emerging from his cocoon, he devolved all of his humanoid animal foes back into their original forms. Adam Warlock then left the duplicate world called Counter-Earth to seek and eradicate evil elsewhere in the universe. While traveling through the Hercules star cluster some time later, Warlock encountered 3 Grand Inquisitors of the Universal Church of Truth, the armed militia of a rapidly spreading religious empire. He learned that the Church was a fanatical organization which slew populations of worlds it could not convert. Further, it was headed by a being called the Magus, who Warlock learned was an alternate future version of himself. Aided by a troll-like alien named Pip,
see, Pip the Troll,
Warlock fought his way through the various minions of the Church, finally confronting the Magus himself. He then learned how he became the Magus and started the Universal Church. In one alternate future, Warlock encountered the In-Betweener.
See In-Betweener.
An agent of the abstract beings Lord Order and Master Chaos, who brought Warlock to his extra-dimensional realm. For centuries, Warlock was trapped there, bombarded by contradictions. Although he spun a protective cocoon about him, Warlock could not shut out the consciousness-altering stimuli. When Warlock emerged, he had gone insane and had assumed the form of Magus. Due to some quirk in returning to his home reality, the Magus emerged 5,000 years in the past. Possessed with great power, the Magus conquered the army of the planet he was on, Homeworld, and after seizing control of the whole planet, set up a religion and began to spread that faith to other solar systems. To avoid becoming the Magus, Warlock determined not to accompany the In-Betweener to his realm. The Magus, hoping to ensure his own existence, summoned the In-Betweener and prepared to deliver Warlock to him. However, the mad titan Thanos,
See Thanos.
decided to aid Warlock, believing the Magus was a threat to his own schemes. Because neither Thanos nor the Magus himself were factors in Warlock's original transformation into the Magus, their presence diverged an alternative path of reality where Warlock could slay the Magus. In the reality where Warlock and Thanos succeeded in thwarting the Magus's creation, someone else founded the Universal Church. Warlock and Thanos had by then gone their own separate ways, and Warlock soon found himself engaged in battle with the Star Thief, an Earth being who, like Thanos, sought to extinguish all the stars. He then entered the dimension of the soul gem that the High Evolutionary had once given him in an attempt to master its soul-stealing tendencies. Returning to the solar system, Warlock encountered the Stranger,
See Stranger.
and Gardener,
See Gardener.
both of whom possessed a soul gem themselves. Thanos, unknown to them all, had undertaken the acquisition of the 6 soul gems in existence and had gathered all but the one belonging to Warlock. Thanos feared the soul-stealing properties unique to Warlock's gem, so he simply siphoned off the energies he needed from it. He then transferred those energies, as well as those of the other gems, into a single synthetic soul gem. With the gem, Thanos intended to destroy the stars as a gift to death. The Avengers, Captain Marvel, The Thing, Spider-Man, and Warlock united to oppose Thanos' scheme. In personal combat, Thanos mortally wounded Warlock. As he lay dying, Warlock's temporal counterpart of approximately a year before materialized, having access through time by way of the In-Betweener's realm, and siphoned Warlock's soul, or spirit self, into his own soul gem. Doing so, he disappeared back into the In-Betweener's realm. Thus, Warlock's soul joined the souls of the enemies he had slain, as well as his companions, Pip and Gamora.
See Gamora.
Warlock was briefly summoned from the tranquil pocket dimension inside the gem by Spider-Man. Seething with cosmic power released through his physical death, Warlock transformed Thanos to living, unmoving stone and then returned to the gem. Although his body is dead, Warlock's soul, or astral self, still dwells within the dimension of the soul gem he once wore. Height, 6 feet 2 inches. Weight, 240 pounds. Eyes, red. Hair, blonde. Skin, gold. Powers. Warlock possessed a number of superhuman properties and powers derived from his artificially determined genetic structure. His bone and muscle tissue was denser than human, endowing him with superhuman strength and resilience. Among his body's special adaptations was an enclave of cells able to tap and transform cosmic energy for personal use. Warlock could use this energy to enhance his physical strength, endurance, and powers of recuperation. Unenhanced, Warlock could lift, press, about 4 tons. Enhanced, he could achieve 10 times that for brief periods of time, as when he fought with Thor. He could also employ cosmic energy to negate the force of gravity beneath him, enabling him to fly. In an Earth-like atmosphere, Warlock was able to attain the speed of sound, or 770 miles per hour. He could use his cosmic energy to locate and enter natural space warps, discontinuities in the fabric of space, in order to traverse interstellar space. He could also project cosmic energy from his hands as concussive force. The potency of these blasts remains unknown. Warlock's energy-manipulating powers waned at the time he was given the Soul Gem by the High Evolutionary. No longer could he direct concussive force from his hands or enhance his strength. Whether this power limitation was caused by his symbiotic relationship with the Soul Gem or by some other factor is not yet known. When Warlock was summoned from the Soul Gem to defeat Thanos for the final time, he seemed to possess these cosmic powers once more. Warlock was able to spin a cocoon-like object around him at will in a matter of seconds. He did so infrequently during his short life, usually to protect himself from mortal harm, and usually he would emerge from the cocoon at a further level of physical or mental maturity. It is not known where the substance of the cocoon came from or where it went after he emerged from it. Paraphernalia. Warlock possessed a green soul gem which adhered to his forehead. Its precise origin unknown, the soul gem is one of 6 of its kind. The soul gem enabled Warlock to project beams of concussive energy, whether it was his body's own energy focused through the gem or the gem's energy is not known, devolve organisms to more primitive states, and absorb the souls, life forces, or consciousnesses of other beings. The more Warlock employed the gem for the latter purpose, the more the gem began to influence Warlock's mind to provide it more souls. The soul gem appeared to possess a consciousness of sorts. The soul gem contained, or was a portal to, a small dimensional world where the souls absorbed by the gem would have a shared subjective experience of a peaceful pastoral valley. Warlock's soul gem is the only one of the 6 known to have vampiric tendencies.